If you've reached your 60s, what I'm about to share may truly change the way you look at your own health. As a doctor, I've walked alongside many men for decades, and there's one thing I've realized. Many are silently enduring symptoms related to the prostate without knowing where the real cause lies. Do you often wake up at night to urinate, have trouble starting your stream, or feel like you haven't fully emptied your bladder, even after trying? If so, your prostate may be silently enlarging. And here's what's important. It's not just about aging. In most of the cases I've seen, it's the small, repeated daily habits that quietly allow this condition to progress. I've seen many patients in their 60s, 70s, even 80s live healthily, sleep soundly, and no longer wake up at night, just by changing a few seemingly harmless behaviors. But I've also witnessed others lose their quality of life simply because they ignored the early signs. In this video, I'm going to share with you 10 everyday habits that may be causing your prostate to enlarge over time. And habit number 1 is the most quietly dangerous. I'm not sharing this to scare you, but to help you gain the right understanding, the right tools to protect yourself naturally, safely, and without medications, unless they're truly necessary. Watch this video until the end. And if you find what I share helpful, please don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a loved one, an older friend, or anyone you think might need a gentle reminder, because sometimes the right piece of information at the right time can change an entire health journey. Before we begin, I'd like to invite you to join me in something simple. If you're wondering whether one of your daily habits might be silently enlarging your prostate, leave a comment below. I had no idea my daily habit could be enlarging my prostate. That one simple sentence might be the motivation someone else needs to start taking care of themselves. And who knows, it could be the first step in helping you reclaim the comfort and ease you truly deserve. 1. Not managing stress disrupts hormones and tightens pelvic muscles. Did you know that chronic stress is a silent enemy that most of us tend to ignore? Yet in many cases, it's actually the root cause behind a gradually enlarging prostate. When your body is constantly in a state of stress, whether it's financial worries, family pressure, or health concerns, your nervous system automatically releases a hormone called cortisol in response. It might sound harmless, but when this hormone stays elevated over time, it triggers low-grade inflammation throughout the body, especially in the prostate area. Some real-world studies have shown that men with higher stress levels often experience weak urine flow, incomplete emptying, or frequent nighttime urination, all clear signs of a prostate under pressure. When cortisol goes up, testosterone tends to drop while estrogen increases, disrupting hormonal balance, a key factor in prostate growth. On top of that, stress causes the pelvic muscles surrounding the prostate to tighten and stay in a constant state of contraction. This restricts blood flow, irritates local nerves, and leads to feelings of heaviness, lower abdominal pressure, urinary discomfort, and the constant urge to urinate. I remember a patient around 68 years old who lived alone after losing his wife. He shared that he'd been struggling with insomnia, emotional instability, and a persistent feeling of incomplete urination for nearly a year. Upon examination, we found significant prostate enlargement, even though he had previously been in good health. After just a few small changes like deep breathing each morning, light walks in the afternoon, and talking more frequently with his children, his symptoms improved noticeably within weeks. Science confirms that taking just 10 minutes a day for deep breathing, light meditation, or simple relaxation can calm the nervous system, lower cortisol levels, and naturally help regulate male hormones. What I want you to remember is this: stress doesn't just wear you out mentally, it quietly triggers biological changes that make your prostate grow, increasing the urgency, discomfort, and frequency of nighttime urination. The good news is, you can absolutely manage it without medication, without daily clinic visits, just by listening to your body and starting with the smallest steps. If you've ever gone through a period of prolonged stress, share it with me in the comments below by writing, "I feel stress weighing down my whole body and prostate." That one sentence might be the encouragement someone else needs to begin their journey toward better health. 2. Belly fat causes chronic inflammation and hormonal imbalance. As we enter our 60s, excess fat around the belly isn't just a cosmetic concern, It's a warning sign of deeper health issues, especially when it comes to the prostate. Data from the American Men's Health Research Institute shows that belly fat acts as an uncontrolled producer of inflammatory compounds. These don't just circulate throughout your body, they target your prostate directly. This leads to a rise in chronic inflammation, contributing to prostate enlargement and triggering uncomfortable symptoms like nighttime urination and sudden urges to go. An analysis by the European Endocrine Academy on middle-aged men found that those with waistlines over 40 inches, about 101 centimeters, had double the risk of developing an enlarged prostate. They also experienced more urinary issues and sexual health problems compared to men with moderate waist sizes. On a physiological level, belly fat isn't just a storage area for energy. It's a hormone-producing factory. It releases substances like leptin, interleukin-6, and TNF-alpha, agents of chronic inflammation. At the same time, it disrupts the balance between testosterone and estrogen. When testosterone levels drop and estrogen levels rise, the prostate becomes overstimulated, swells, and leads to urgent urination, weak stream, or even interrupted sleep due to multiple nighttime trips to the bathroom. A modern man, age 62, once shared that due to fast eating habits, high carb intake, and a lack of exercise, his waist had expanded beyond 42 inches, along with needing to urinate 3 to 4 times each night. After reducing his daily intake by just 200 calories, switching from refined carbs to vegetables and fruits, and taking light 20-minute morning walks, he lost over 2 inches from his waist in just 6 weeks. More importantly, his nighttime urination dropped to 1 to 2 times, and his urine flow became noticeably smoother. The reason you're hearing this isn't just to lose belly fat, it's to protect your prostate, your sleep, and your everyday comfort. Keeping your waistline under 40 inches is a golden benchmark, not just for appearance, but for long-term health. You don't need harsh diets or exhausting workouts. Small, simple changes, skipping one pastry, adding an extra slice of vegetable, or walking after dinner, can combine to bring surprising improvements for your prostate and your quality of life. If you've ever felt exhausted, sleep-deprived from nighttime urination, or simply heavy around your lower belly, leave a comment below. I'm ready to lose belly fat for my prostate health. That's a powerful first step we can take together. 3. Eating too much red meat increases inflammation and hormonal imbalance. After talking about reducing belly fat to protect the prostate, let's move on to a very common eating habit that can quietly cause long-term harm: consuming too much red meat. Many families are used to having red meat in their meals every day. Beef, pork, sausages, cold cuts. But science tells us that overindulging in this habit puts significant pressure on the prostate behind the convenience. A major study from the University of California found that consuming red meat, especially processed meats like bacon, sausages, and ham, is closely linked to increased inflammation in the body, including in the prostate. But it's not just about inflammation. The saturated fats and chemicals used in processing red meat also negatively affect hormonal balance. When the body's hormones are mildly disrupted, the prostate tends to grow in response to those changes. On top of that, the digestive systems of older adults slow down, making it harder to process protein-rich foods like red meat, leading to bloating, weight gain, and added pressure on the pelvic area. However, eating well doesn't mean giving up your favorites completely. Nutrition experts recommend reducing red meat to just once or twice a week instead of daily. In its place, focus on fish, beans, chicken breast, or hearty vegetable stews rich in fiber. These choices not only help reduce inflammation, but are also easier to digest, provide steady energy, and you'll likely notice more comfort during urination and less pressure in the lower abdomen. I remember a man in his late 60s who cut back on red meat from daily to just 2 to 3 times a week. He told me, "It feels like I don't have to wake up so often at night anymore, and the bloating has really gone down." That improvement wasn't just about comfort, it gave him more confidence every day. It's not about cutting out everything you enjoy, but making wise adjustments that bring long-term benefits for your prostate and restful sleep. If you've ever wondered, if I reduce red meat, will it affect my family's eating habits? Leave a quick comment below. I'm cutting back on red meat to give my prostate a break. A simple affirmation like that could be your first step toward a lighter, healthier body. What do you think? Are you with me? 4. Eating spicy and processed foods triggers inflammation. After discussing the impact of red meat on prostate health, let's move on to the fourth habit: eating spicy and processed foods every day. This is a very common issue, especially among older adults, who often prefer quick, flavorful meals. Many of us use spicy food or packaged products to keep meals from feeling bland, especially as our sense of taste changes with age. But the truth is, nutritionists and medical studies have shown that spicy seasonings like chili, black pepper, and hot sauces can trigger low-grade inflammation in the body, particularly in the prostate. When consumed regularly, this irritation doesn't just stop at a burning tongue. It can spread deeper, causing discomfort in the lower abdomen and urinary tract, especially if the prostate is already mildly or moderately enlarged. As for processed foods, items like potato chips, canned meats, and frozen fast meals, they are packed with preservatives, artificial flavors, sodium, and unhealthy fats. A 2018 study in the Journal of Nutritional Health found that high salt intake can increase water retention in the body and put pressure on the bladder, making you feel the need to urinate more often, especially at night. On top of that, unhealthy fats also disrupt hormonal balance, including testosterone levels, accelerating prostate growth. Another analysis by the U.S. National Health Program found that individuals who consumed a high amount of packaged and processed foods were more likely to gain weight, suffer from chronic inflammation, and show abnormal hormone levels, all high-risk factors for prostate enlargement and urinary issues like urgency and nighttime urination. But that doesn't mean your meals have to become boring. Instead, aim for a diet rich in natural anti-inflammatory foods like dark leafy greens, berries, avocados, and extra virgin olive oil. These aren't just heart-healthy, they also help soothe the prostate and support digestion. You don't need to eliminate your favorite flavors entirely. Just make smart swaps. For example, replace salty snacks with dry roasted unsalted almonds, instant noodles with vegetable porridge, or hot sauce with a drizzle of olive oil and a splash of lemon on your salad. These small, consistent changes can make a big difference. You may notice less bloating, fewer urgent bathroom trips, and better sleep. If you'd like to experience that lightness too, leave a comment below. I choose healthy meals to ease my prostate. It's a simple, positive statement, but one that can inspire both you and others on the same path to better well-being. 5. Drinking too much caffeine irritates the bladder. After learning how certain eating habits can harm the prostate, let's move on to something many men don't expect: drinking too much caffeine, a simple habit that can quietly make your prostate angry. Many older adults enjoy their morning coffee or an afternoon cup of tea, but science has shown that over-consuming caffeine, a strong diuretic, can significantly increase urine production, forcing the bladder to work overtime. A study of over 1,000 people aged 60 and older found that nearly 50% of those consuming more than 300 milligrams of caffeine daily, about 2 to 3 cups of coffee, showed signs of overactive bladder, meaning urgency, nighttime trips, and even leakage. Caffeine doesn't just make you urinate more, it causes the bladder muscles to contract frequently, especially around the bladder neck, the area that connects to the prostate. This can lead to difficulty starting urination or feeling like you haven't fully emptied your bladder. Leftover urine increases pressure on the prostate and raises the risk of chronic inflammation. An analysis using data from the U.S. National Nutrition Survey showed that people who consumed more caffeine had a higher risk of prostate enlargement compared to those who consumed little or none. In addition, caffeine disrupts sleep, which in turn reduces your body's natural ability to restore prostate health each night. I once met a gentleman in his late 60s who drank 2 strong cups of coffee every morning to stay alert. He had no idea that this habit was causing him to wake up multiple times a night to urinate, leading to poor sleep and constant fatigue. After switching to decaf coffee in the morning and caffeine-free herbal tea in the afternoon, he told me that within just 1 week, he was sleeping better, waking up less during the night, and felt a noticeable relief in the lower abdomen. The key isn't to give up your beloved coffee or tea entirely, but to adjust your intake wisely. You can start by replacing part of your regular coffee with decaf, switching to herbal teas, or simply avoiding caffeinated drinks after 2 p.m. These small, consistent adjustments give your prostate the real rest it needs. If you're also thinking about making changes to your coffee habit, leave a comment below. I'm switching to decaf to ease my prostate. That sentence isn't just a commitment to yourself. It might be the spark someone else needs to start their own positive change. 6. Holding in urine puts pressure on the prostate. There's one habit that seems harmless but quietly damages the prostate every day: holding in your urine. We've all experienced being too busy, in transit, or simply not near a restroom, so we tell ourselves, "I'll hold it just a bit longer." But if this becomes a regular pattern throughout the day and continues for years, the consequences go far beyond momentary discomfort. Biologically speaking, when you hold in your urine, your bladder expands to accommodate the extra fluid. The bladder sits directly above the prostate, so when it stretches too much, it exerts downward pressure on the prostate below. Over time, this compression can irritate the prostate tissue, leading to mild inflammation and swelling. In older adults, the muscles involved in urination, including those in the pelvic floor, are already weaker, making them even more vulnerable to this strain. What's more, regularly delaying urination can make it harder to fully empty your bladder. The leftover urine creates a warm, moist environment ideal for bacterial growth, increasing the risk of urinary tract infections. Recurrent infections can further irritate the prostate, heightening the risk of enlargement and leading to more serious urinary issues down the road. A man in his mid-60s once shared with me that he often held his urine because he didn't want to interrupt whatever he was doing, especially when reading the paper or watching TV. He thought a few extra minutes wouldn't matter, but over time he noticed he had to urinate more often, particularly at night, and always felt like he wasn't fully emptying his bladder. After he changed his habits, listening to his body and going to the restroom at the first urge, within a few weeks he felt stronger urine flow, slept more soundly, and experienced a clear sense of relief. Protecting your prostate doesn't always require medicine or high-tech tools. Sometimes it's as simple as responding to your body's natural signals. When your bladder speaks up, don't try to silence it. Remember, your prostate and bladder work as a team. If one is under stress, the other suffers too. If you've also had a habit of waiting until it's convenient, now's the time to change. Leave a comment below. I will listen to my body and stop holding my urine. It's a small habit and a positive commitment, but one that can bring major improvements to your long-term health. 7. Sitting too long without moving reduces blood flow. You might love your cozy recliner in the living room, but if you sit too long without moving, your body, especially your prostate, might be silently signaling distress. Many older gentlemen get into the habit of sitting for hours watching TV, reading the newspaper, or doing crossword puzzles. It may seem harmless, but in reality, it's one of the hidden dangers to prostate health. When you stay seated for extended periods, your pelvic area endures continuous pressure. This pressure reduces blood circulation to the lower abdomen, where the prostate and other important urinary organs are located. Poor blood flow can lead to low-grade inflammation and increase the risk of prostate enlargement. Even more, the pelvic floor muscles, which help control urination, can weaken from lack of regular movement. The result? You may find it harder to empty your bladder completely, leading to retained urine, lower abdominal pressure, frequent urination, and worsening inflammation of the prostate. Geriatric specialists have warned that older adults who spend most of their day sitting have a higher risk of urinary problems, particularly nighttime urgency and frequent trips to the bathroom. But the good news is that even a small change in habit can make a big difference. For example, standing up every 30 minutes to walk a few steps around the house, stretch gently, or do a few basic mobility exercises can boost circulation, reduce pelvic pressure, and bring comfort to your prostate. One gentleman I once advised shared that after setting a timer to remind himself to stand up every 30 minutes and sticking with it for a month, he felt significantly less pressure in his lower abdomen, and his nighttime urination reduced dramatically. It's clear proof that a little consistent movement can act as a natural medicine for maintaining prostate stability. Don't let a sedentary lifestyle lead to loud and uncomfortable health problems later on. If you've ever found yourself sitting for hours without standing up, try making a small change today. Stand, stretch, take a few steps. And if you're ready to do that, leave a comment below. I'll stand up every 30 minutes to support my prostate health. It's a small commitment, but one that empowers you to take charge of your well-being. 8. Skipping proper hydration leads to chronic dehydration. Something that seems small but quietly affects prostate health every day is not drinking enough water. Many older adults intentionally reduce their fluid intake, especially in the evening, for fear of waking up multiple times at night to urinate. But in the long run, this habit doesn't reduce discomfort. It actually creates more problems for the urinary system, especially the prostate. As we age, our sense of thirst becomes less sensitive. So by the time you feel thirsty, you're already mildly dehydrated. When you drink too little, your urine becomes concentrated, which directly irritates the bladder and the prostate, positioned just below it. When the bladder has to handle overly concentrated urine, it stiffens and pushes downward, increasing pressure on the prostate. Over time, this pressure leads to mild inflammation and causes the prostate to swell, one of the root causes of prostate enlargement. Chronic dehydration also weakens the body's ability to flush out toxins. Waste that builds up in the urinary tract can lead to inflammation or infection, worsening urinary problems. And many medications commonly used by older adults, like diuretics or blood pressure pills, further increase dehydration, making the prostate even more vulnerable if water intake isn't consistent. The good news? The solution is simple. You don't need to drink large amounts at once. Just sip small amounts steadily throughout the day, even just a few sips every hour. Urine color is your best guide. If it's clear or light yellow, you're well hydrated. If it's dark, your body is sounding the alarm. I once met a 68-year-old man who avoided water in the evening to prevent nighttime trips. He ended up feeling pressure in his lower abdomen, had frequent urges, and struggled with sleep. After switching to sipping water throughout the day and stopping after 7 p.m., he reported fewer nighttime awakenings and a much more comfortable experience when urinating. Don't let fear of small inconveniences cost your prostate its long-term health. Think of water as a natural shield that protects you from prostate enlargement, helps your bladder run smoothly, and keeps your system gently detoxified each day. If you've ever forgotten to drink or put it off because it seemed bothersome, leave a comment. I'll drink water consistently each day to protect my prostate. It's a small but meaningful commitment, one that benefits you and may inspire thousands of others who need to hear it. 9. Smoking or breathing in secondhand smoke causes inflammation and tissue damage. Among all the habits that harm the prostate, one stands out as both silent and extremely dangerous: smoking, or even simply breathing in secondhand smoke. For older adults, the consequences of this habit don't always appear immediately, but over time, the damage quietly builds up, weakening the prostate day by day without you realizing it. Medical studies have shown that the toxic chemicals in cigarette smoke, from nicotine to hundreds of other inflammatory compounds, reduce blood flow to organs throughout the body, including the prostate. Poor circulation means less oxygen and fewer nutrients reach the tissue, slowing down cell repair and leading to swelling and damage. On top of that, smoking increases oxidative stress, a process where free radicals attack the body, weakening its ability to heal and raising the risk of tumor development. Many people believe that if they quit smoking years ago, they're no longer affected. But the truth is, even passive exposure to cigarette smoke can continue to cause low-grade inflammation, especially in prostates that are already sensitive with age. A study from Johns Hopkins University found that men regularly exposed to secondhand smoke had a 30% higher risk of urinary issues compared to those in smoke-free environments. Beyond damaging the prostate, smoking also depletes the body's natural antioxidants, the very warriors that help fight inflammation and cellular damage. With a weakened immune system, the prostate becomes more easily irritated and less capable of healing if it's already enlarged. If you currently smoke, don't hesitate to seek support. Today, there are many safe ways to quit, from nicotine patches and lozenges to behavioral therapy and natural herbal aids. Within just weeks of quitting, blood flow improves, inflammation starts to subside, and urination becomes more comfortable. And if you've never smoked, that's fantastic. Keep it that way and avoid secondhand smoke whenever possible. It's one of the simplest and most effective shields you can use to keep your prostate healthy for life. If you relate to this or are already on your journey to quit smoking, leave a positive commitment in the comments. I choose to stay away from smoke to protect my prostate. It's a small act, but it could be a major turning point for you and a meaningful reminder to someone else who's watching. 10. Skipping regular checkups. Missing the chance for early detection. Of all the things you can do to protect your prostate health, getting regular checkups is probably the simplest, yet it's the one most often overlooked. Many men only see a doctor when symptoms become obvious, like frequent urination, nighttime trips, or pressure in the lower abdomen. But this approach carries real risks, especially once you're past 60. That's because the prostate can silently enlarge for years without causing any noticeable discomfort. Just one routine checkup a year can help detect early signs of trouble, such as mild inflammation, infection, or unwanted tissue growth in the prostate, even before you feel anything unusual. Simple tests like a digital rectal exam, DRE, or a PSA blood test take just minutes, are painless, affordable, and could be the key to preventing serious complications down the road. Unfortunately, many men feel embarrassed talking about issues like urination, abdominal discomfort, or anything involving their private area. But that silence can allow minor problems to quietly develop into more serious conditions, like urinary retention, repeated infections, or in some cases, late-stage prostate cancer. On the other hand, early detection gives you the opportunity to manage your health with just dietary adjustments, healthy habits, and mild interventions, without needing medication or surgery. I once advised a 72-year-old gentleman who felt perfectly healthy with no symptoms. But thanks to encouragement from his family, he went for a full checkup and discovered early signs of mild prostate swelling. With early awareness, all he had to do was adjust his diet, add a few supportive herbs, and maintain light daily exercise. 6 months later, all his health markers were back to normal, without a single pill. Also remember, there are now many tools to help older adults monitor their health daily. For example, there are apps designed for men over 60 that let you log your water intake, bathroom habits, any unusual symptoms, and even schedule reminders for checkups. These tools help give your doctor a clear picture of your condition and lead to more accurate and timely advice. Don't wait until symptoms become obvious to act. A proactive, once-a-year checkup is the simplest, most powerful way to prevent bigger problems. And if you believe that annual checkups are insurance for prostate health, leave a positive comment below. I'll get my prostate checked once a year. It's a simple statement, but one that could make all the difference for you and inspire others to take the same important step. 11. 2 natural ways to shrink the prostate. After exploring the silent habits that harm the prostate, it's time to talk about solutions. The good news is, not everything requires medication or complex medical interventions. There are natural, gentle, and effective ways to ease symptoms of an enlarged prostate, BPH, and even reduce its size over time when practiced consistently. The first solution, simple in theory but rarely practiced, is proper prostate massage. This technique has been used in the West for hundreds of years, designed to relieve congestion, improve blood flow, and support more flexible prostate function. When circulation improves, local metabolism gets a boost, and it helps release the pressure buildup over time, a key cause of discomfort, frequent urination, or difficulty starting. Of course, this method must be performed correctly and safely. It's best to consult a urologist before starting to ensure it's appropriate for your condition. The second solution is harnessing the power of herbs and natural supplements that support prostate health. Today, many scientific studies have confirmed that extracts from saw palmetto, pumpkin seeds, pygeum, and beta-sitosterol can reduce inflammation, balance hormones, and support urinary function safely and naturally. These compounds not only help improve symptoms like nighttime urgency and frequent urination, but also slow down the progression of prostate enlargement. A report published in the Journal of Urology showed that saw palmetto reduced nighttime urination urgency by up to 38% after just 8 weeks of regular use. This is a great option for those looking to support their prostate without turning to prescription medication right away. You can find these supplements at major pharmacies or through reputable sources online. But remember, it's important to choose certified, clearly labeled products and consult your doctor if you're taking other medications to avoid unwanted interactions. There's no magic trick to shrink the prostate overnight, but with consistency, the right approach, and daily attention to your body's needs, you can absolutely experience real, safe, and lasting change. If you've heard of prostate massage or are considering using herbal supplements, leave a comment. I choose to care for my prostate naturally. That small commitment isn't just for you. It could inspire thousands of others walking the same path. You see, sometimes good health doesn't come from grand gestures. It comes from the seemingly harmless habits we carry out each day. Through this video, I hope you've gained a clearer understanding of how your everyday routines, from how you sit, how much water you drink, to what you eat, can quietly impact your prostate. But more importantly, you now know that it's never too late to make a change, no matter your age. Whether you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, taking action today, even something small, can make a big difference in your quality of life down the road. Don't wait for your body to cry out before you start listening. And if something in today's message resonated with you, share that. Leave a comment with a simple commitment like, "I'll start with one healthy habit each day." Your words may just be the inspiration someone else needs to begin their own journey. Also, remember, everything I've shared in this video is not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you're experiencing any unusual symptoms, please consult a healthcare specialist for the proper evaluation and treatment. And if you'd like to keep learning how to improve your health as you age, go ahead and watch the video currently on your screen, or choose one of the recommended videos on the side. Each video is a piece of the puzzle, and together we'll help you build a healthier, more comfortable life, one day at a time. See you in the next video. Wishing you peace, strength, and the confidence to care for yourself every single day.